it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Now I'm in the limelight cause I rhyme tight. Time to get paid, blow up like the world's trade. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. And if you don't know, now you know. MAGA.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. The core question when you're talking about Diddy or Epstein or any type of government and intel agency extortion operation is what kind of leverage are they gathering? Is it powerful enough? Is it dangerous enough to get what these evil operators want? Because you have to have these powerful people doing really evil and sinister things that will embarrass them if it ever became public. That's how you control them. This is the core to any type of criminal extortion enterprise, which of course our government runs. And they run it on celebrities. Get a load of this. This is a video of J-Lo endorsing Kamala Harris live on stage. Really to the shock of all Americans. J-Lo is not particularly political. But what happened just days before J-Lo went and trotted out any of her last remaining relevancy to help Kamala Harris? Well, what happened days before was we got little drips, little teasers about what might be in these Diddy files. Get a load of this. Former Playboy model claims Sean Diddy Combs made her watch Jennifer Lopez video at Freakoff. Would you look at that? Published right in October of this year, the election year. Right before Jennifer Lopez went out and endorsed Kamala. It's almost like a little bit of a warning. Like, we have you on tape, and you better do what we want. Here's another example of that. Usher calls voting an individual choice following presidential debate, refuses to endorse Kamala Harris. He was, of course, badgered and beaten on The View to try and endorse Kamala, and he refused to do so. Instead, he just, sat around doing his little Usher thing. But then the powers that be reminded Usher who his real masters were. And hours later, I'm telling you, this was neck-snappingly fast. Usher was on stage endorsing Kamala Harris. Look at that. Oh, wow. Hey, sorry about that. Just kidding. Diddy himself used to be friends with Donald Trump, or at the very least was somebody who ran in the same celebrity orbits. But then Diddy, well, he got a little bit of pressure put on him and started ripping videos like this one.
White men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous.
Mm-hmm. That way of thinking, it's real dangerous. White men like Trump. Trump's so bad. Except for when I want to go to his parties or stay at his buildings or go to any of his clubs. Or when I went to Donald Trump at my, to go to my record label opening. But no, white men like Trump's real dangerous. See that? See how it works? Jeez. Anyway, even Diddy, of course. This is the operation. This is how it works. Now, Diddy was a part of the 2024 campaign, even though he was in prison. Diddy was regularly used, clearly, to manipulate and blackmail celebrities into endorsing Kamala Harris and the Democrat Party. Diddy himself was blackmailed into, of course, turning on Trump. And entire Trump audiences in Madison Square Garden roared at jokes like this.
Side's got a lot of crazy endorsements. Swift, Eminem, Leo DiCaprio, Beyonce. Every day the Democratic Party looks more and more like a P. Diddy party. Oh, okay. Okay, that's what you guys want.
Okay, so it's a good punchline. Let's ask the final most important question. What use is Diddy to the feds? Because now that the feds have all of the tapes, isn't it now the federal government that has extortion on all of these celebrities? Isn't it now the government of Donald Trump that has the Epstein files and can use them to manipulate and leverage people? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, talk about this as from a pragmatic perspective. Wouldn't somewhere deep inside of the government, you say, wait, now we can control all these people? We can either shut them up or stop lawfare or to stop them from doing the things we don't want them to, like, I'm just living in the real world here. I'm not saying it's something that should happen. I'm saying maybe that is what's happening. The federal government's going very light on Diddy. Federal government is not going hard at Diddy in court. And guess who's bringing that charge? Those charges brought against Diddy is coming from James Comey's daughter. None other than Maureen Comey. So Donald Trump shocked the world when he answered the question, would you pardon Diddy? I want to make this very clear. If you know anything about Donald Trump, you know that he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out of his club, that he was the first guy to stand up and help the prosecutors put Jeffrey Epstein in jail. Donald Trump is not a degenerate at all. Donald Trump does not do drugs. He has very clean living. He completely abstains from alcohol. I'm not in any way, like, here's a good example. If Epstein files had anything on Trump, wouldn't, of course, we already know about it? If they had anything, if Diddy had anything on Trump, wouldn't you already know about it? The fact that celebrities rolled in the same circles is not a big story. But this is a big story. Trump asked, will you pardon Diddy? You know him, right? Like you two clearly rolled in the same circles in New York.
You mentioned once in 2012 that Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage. I haven't seen him. I haven't spoken to him in years. He used to really like me a lot, but I think when I ran for politics, that relationship busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Mr. President.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Is Diddy cooperating with the feds? Are the feds just glad that they were able to get everything from Diddy? Thank you for being useful in our operation. Now here's a 20 years prison sentence. That seems like what's going to happen. In a federal indictment unsealed on September 17th, Combs was charged with racketeering conspiracy, Rico, sex trafficking by force, fraud, coercion, transportation to engage in prostitution. If found guilty, he faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars, maximum sentence of life in prison. He's maintained his innocence. Throughout the ongoing trial, where witnesses have testified and have shown videos and photos of rape, sexual assault, severe physical abuse, forced labor, and drug trafficking. So he's not a good person. But I guess we'll see. Wow, what a photo. Look at Elon. Look at Elon Musk's hand after shaking Trump's hand. You better come correct. Yeah, this is what the abuse inside of the Oval Office looks like. All right. This is amazing clip here from Chris Cuomo's show, where Suge Knight, who knows Diddy, obviously he's also a rap mogul, says the reason that Diddy isn't dead already and the reason that he expects Diddy will get out of prison is because he's working with the feds. He is a fed. He's worked with the feds. This entire operation was for the feds. It's remarkable stuff here.
The government, I think they're going to show him a little leeway. It might not seem like it when it's all said and done, but I don't think he has nothing to worry about. I don't think he's worried because he's going to be federal. And if he get convicted, Trump's going to pardon him. So what's the worry?
You think the President of the United States would pardon Sean Combs for sex trafficking?
Shit, he pardoned Michael Harris, who allegedly killed a Jewish teenager or had him killed. So they don't care about that. It's all about, what's in it for the long run and what the bucks say and what the power of the people want.
In another interview, Suge Knight says Diddy's an FBI informant. He's a Fed. They have all of his tapes. He's protecting his tapes. He's protecting the feds. He's working with the feds. They have the leverage. that they need on all these powerful people. Now the op needs to be wrapped up nice and clean, pin it all on Diddy. Don't go after the larger criminal conspiracy. Don't release any of the videos, of course. That's something that's going to be kept in the secret government vault in case they need people to do, very powerful people to do very specific things. Like, I don't know, turn on their friends, right? Like this.
White men like Trump need to be banished.
It's like, give him the best acting award, really, like truly. What do you think? Well, how would you feel if President Trump pardoned Diddy? What would you think about that? Based on what I'm seeing at this trial, I think it would not be good. I certainly wouldn't be for it. But I'm trying at my very best to like lay out exactly what the structures look like and why it's so hard to release the Epstein. Why would you release the Epstein list? You can use the Epstein list on all of these powerful people, presidents and billionaires and bankers, and prime ministers and royal family. You can use that information to make them do whatever you want. It's useful. I'm just trying to think like an evil person. Of course, I want all of it out, but I want to explain like the pragmatism of why they don't release it all. What do I know, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe if you want Diddy to spend the rest of his life in prison, where he belongs, along with a lot of his celebrity friends. See ya.